Alright, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Diablo 2 Hardcore modded run. It's actually been quite a while since I've recorded anything for this, mostly because there isn't really any rush from me to get episodes out. Because episodes go live actually months and months ahead of when it's recorded, because it's just filling in a slot for like really later in the year. It's time to fight Andariel. So it's been a while since I've come and actually played the game. Come and actually recorded an episode. It's the 14th of May. To give you some idea. Basically, I did a huge push for recording and uploading in like December, January to try and guarantee that I could meet my goal. I can't remember what the buttons do. To meet my goal of doing daily uploads, and this kind of RPG series represents like 2 a week. Currently, at the time of recording, we are still doing Path of Exile uploads just fine. Because there's also a lot of them. I did like 60 episodes in the first week or something like that. Some ridiculous amount. And then I went back and played it recently because there's been an update. There's a new season, what do they call it? A new league. The game didn't change that much. The new league isn't actually all that much going on. Is my guy okay? This one. And some of the jank is still there, like Temple of Chaos, which is supposed to be a whole aspect of upgrading your character, is inaccessible in its entirety, which is very frustrating. And just little stuff like that just makes the game annoying, frustrating to play. But I played a different character type. I didn't play a caster character. I played the ranger, I think, one with the bow and arrow. And that was cool. Like, my character did cool stuff. I got to play, a Herald of Thunder and stuff like that, which I enjoyed. And I got up to the second last act and was kind of like, which is fine. Like, I gave it a go. I don't think I'm going to go back and record some more stuff. Basically, I ended the series with like, look, if all these problems that I'm outlining still exist by the time this episode goes live 5 months later, 6 months later, then it's just a dead game. Like, there's some really basic stuff in my list of gripes, and for it to persist for that long is pretty egregious. So I get it. Like, I'm happy to move on from Path of Exile 2, but it means I'm back recording for this series, which is interesting. I have made good progress. I genuinely thought I would cycle through more characters and this series would end by me running out of characters to be able to play, because when one of them dies, I can't play the character anymore. And it also goes as far as possible in the hardcore run, which seems to be doing just fine, I guess. I'm running out of mana really hard, which means I'm taking damage. And my mana barrier is doing work? Is that what that means? What is it? Energy shield. Just increase my mana pool. Maybe that's the other problem. I just lost half of it from that. Where is my follower? He's trapped in that damn. One more time. So I don't know if this is a series that will ever get completed, and I am kind of playing catch up a little bit, because by the time, like, if I actually get to the episodes coming out, I might have to try and actually record more regularly and make stuff happen and you know, keep the tempo, or drop it entirely. A thing that I think is very possible might happen. So I'm kind of curious, as doing YouTube stuff is going. I tried some new things since March 27th. I've been doing daily shorts. And if you have a look at the analytics graph for the 8 years my channel has existed versus the last month and a half, so from March 27th to April, May 14th, it's a little bit more than a month and a half. It's so much more than all the views. Obviously, the shorts gets like a lot of views, but also like my watch time hours is like 200 times. Even the shorts are like a minute long, so people have to be watching it like percentage-wise. You know, compared to my other content, so much more for it to have that kind of ridiculous impact on the stats. We hit 800 subscribers, and my goal is 1,000. Oh my god, it's gonna go. I don't know what the shortcut is to give him the potion quickly, so bro will just have to deal with these slowly clicking on it. Yeah, we hit 800 subscribers, which means we're back on path to hit 1,000 before the end of the year, because there's still 7 months left, 7.5 months, which is greater than 200 days. So if I'm getting a subscriber a day for the remainder of the year, then I'll hit my goal, which is kind of the idea. Now, let's talk about how we got there, because for a while I was kind of struggling in the 600s, and I started using YouTube's baked-in promotion stuff, and also doing shorts regularly, which I think helped a bit. But basically, I put down $100. I was like, I want to do growing subscribers type of promotion. Like they have some options like views focus or subscribers focus, that kind of stuff. And then for the first one, it's from Computer to Cardboard series, where I'm making the Outer Wilds board game. Now, when you're watching this, that has long come and gone. But it's kind of a big deal at the time, and it's probably the biggest project I've worked on for the channel. Something specifically for the channel. It's kind of a big deal. And so I picked one of those episodes and put it in the promotion thing, put $100 on it. Basically, I was like, look, I believe in the series. I want to see, I want to see it succeed. I want all the time and effort. I put like weeks of time into designing and prototyping the game, like 7 weeks or something. And then, I wanted to be worth it. I wanted to like actually connect. So I put the $100 on it, and it basically got 97 or something subscribers. So it's like pretty close to $1 a subscriber. And if my goal is to just get to 1,000, why not just spend the remaining $200 or whatever? Which is a thing that I might end up doing. Because it's like, does it matter? What is cheating? It only really matters if the subscribers are like bots or not real accounts, because then your watch time never increases or gets better or anything like that. But because my watch time hours are like way up, and my views are like increasing and doing better, then it's like, well, why not? Why not? Because then if I hit monetization, then I'm actually, for the stuff that I am doing when I am working for free, getting something a bit back. It's kind of my spot at the moment. So I'm trying to balance working on bigger projects for YouTube, like the From Computer to Cardboard series, which is really exhausting. And like the other kind of casual type stuff that I do, like Clock Tower, which is just I show up and click record and then I upload, which is like really straightforward. Or this series where I play game, a thing I could do asleep, and I just monologue to the camera about my life. much more like a Dear Diary than it is Diablo 2. But the challenge is still there. And look, if me talking about my day is the thing that distracts me, then that's an added challenge difficulty to potentially succeed in the challenge, which I also think is funny. But I don't know, it's also like attempting a more Northern Lion style of content by doing a couple of different, you know, kind of staple stuff on the channel, but most of it's just kind of me talking to camera. And then what, maybe I transition into streaming or something like that, have a clock tower stream, have a arts and crafts stream. Oh, there's a lot of spiders. Why is it that every video game that I play has spiders in it? Okay, he's gone. You got the big one. Cutlass, that's me. I'm Cutlass. Also, the Oblivion Remastered game came out recently, which is kind of a big deal, I would say. But I don't have it, and I'm probably not intending on getting it. But I'm seeing a lot of stuff around it, and it's giving me big FOMO, that's for sure. Because it's a game that I actually played on the Xbox 360, dating myself a little bit. I'm old as hell. And I put thousands of hours into that game. And, you know, I watched my friend Terrastorma stream it for a little bit, and it's like, hell yeah, I still remember all these things, and how much I enjoy the game, and like how cool exploring and stuff is, and the soundtrack and all this kind of stuff. But it's like, do I really actually enjoy the game enough to go back and play it, spend the ticket price, and go back to it? It's hard. Whereas this, I know, yes, this is the remastered version, but I was playing the non-remastered version for a long time. I mean, the difference in release date from Diablo 2 and Oblivion is non-equitable for this particular argument, but I was playing Diablo 2 for a long time before the remaster, and now I'm only stuck playing the remaster because Diablo 2 doesn't really work on my computer anymore. It just is so prone to crashing, and so this is kind of my best option. I can put it to old graphics if I want, but that's not the thing that I care about, you know. I just want to play the game. I don't necessarily want to have to spend money on playing the game. But it's interesting, we're in this big kind of remix culture, and everything that you do has to be related to the existing remix culture, which hurts a little bit. And so the content that I'm doing, anything original that I try and do, which I'll get to in a second, I'm building up to something, feels like it really struggles, because it's not an existing IP, people aren't looking for it, people aren't excited to explore something new, and it just dies on the vine. Whereas, you know, playing an existing game, playing Diablo 2, playing Battle Clock Tower, things that have baked in audiences are gonna, you know, kind of naturally do better. Cutlass, the game that the company, Cutlass Board Games, is named after, you know, like my day job, we released it. We released it 2 weeks ago, completely for free. We did a whole bunch of promotional stuff, we did a whole bunch of videos talking about the game and explaining it, and my friend Tim came over and we recorded a whole bunch of gameplay of it, showing off deck building and how, you know, fun the game is to play. And then 17 people downloaded it. It now no longer receives any kind of views or whatever. This is kind of demoralizing that a project that I worked on for 7 years has had, you know, basically no interest or impact. Fuck. I let him die. I shouldn't have let him die. How full is my bag? Not very full. I'll probably do fine without him for a little bit. And so it's kind of sucks. And it means that, like, what am I, as a YouTuber, I'm doomed to only ever work on things that are not my projects, and then whenever I make projects, no one gives a shit. And then I just kind of exist to amplify other voices and never my own. Like, that kind of sucks. also, depending when this episode goes live, somewhere between September and October, there is PAX in October, the big Australian convention. I'm doing a lot of preparation for that because I have my own booth for the first time, which is a big deal. It's very scary, and I have a lot of things to organize with that. But I have a team of people helping me with that. But it's like I'm worried about the same thing. Are people coming to this convention actually going to be interested to see cool new stuff? Or is it cool new stuff because it's vouched for by PAX? Like this is hey, this is a booth. PAX is saying this is a cool thing. I might mana drain. And like that is in effect a bigger voice than me vouching for it. Whereas YouTube as a culture is not like, you don't look at something on YouTube and go, oh, YouTube endorses this. Which is crazy because when they go, oh yes, this content was removed or banned or whatever, they don't go, oh yes, YouTube's in charge. No, it just kind of happens. It feels more like a place than a company or a service, right? So when you see something on YouTube, it's not endorsed by YouTube, but you see something, officially on sale at PAX or showcased at PAX, then it feels like, wait, there's guys over here. It feels like it's endorsed by PAX. So I'm wondering if that is going to be a thing that like lends credence to people like actually want to come and check out our project, because I've put basically a year of time into it, and at the time of recording it's still not even announced. The game hasn't even been the trailer drop yet. We're currently working on the trailer to do the big announcement drop, which is kind of insane. So I've been working on something for a little over a year. Obviously I'm not making money from it because it's not for sale yet. And then I just have to hope that it does well when it does come out. And it's like really tough to make those gambles. And that's the industry, you're making that gamble constantly. You're just betting on yourself that your product is actually going to do good and make money. Which is a difficult thing to do. Difficult thing to believe. I picked up some of the wrong stuff there. I'm about to level up, which is nice. But for the most part, I'm looking to get back to gold. Go back and revive my follower. What is that? Dead end. It's a dead end. I have to go back up here. Oh, I'm lost. So it's like disappointing that Cutlass, I mean, they're very different projects. The one that I'm showcasing at the booth is like a very different target market. And also because Cutlass presents as a trading card game, I think it's a huge trading card game fatigue. I think Magic the Gathering created a solved space, and then people go, yeah, cool, Magic the Gathering is nice and fun, and then it's kind of dead now. Magic the Gathering died when they stopped stuff like the Pro Tour, like the actual competitive circuit stopped being a dream that people could, hunt for and achieve. And then they shifted it more towards casual players. Now, normally when people have this opinion, you go, oh, a bit of a blowhard, who really cares, the game's not competitive anymore, we didn't make it for you. But it's actually representative of a paradigm shift in the company where they're not focusing on making the game like super interactive and it's the best possible game experience. They're actually now just like, okay, how can we interface this with an IP? And they just have like 100 cards that do nothing, which is really disappointing. And it's also transitioned from a mindset about creating cards that are balanced for standard. Because what used to happen is like the set would come out, it goes into standard, and there will be maybe 2 cards, that are good in any other format. And then like some of the bigger jank ones that you would never cast in standard because it's so slow, maybe get played in EDH. That's what it used to be like. Now you have a set that comes out in a standard, and it's probably pretty good. And it has a couple of cards that like either define an archetype or a whole EDH deck kind of thing. And also within that time frame, you have 7 different Commander products, which release into Legacy as well as Commander. You have all this side content, and then now Universes Beyond is releasing into Standard as well. it just feels like they're desperately trying to use the IP to get players to hold it together, to come back and play the cool game, which is ties back to what I was saying before. It's the other bigger voice vouching for your product. Magic the Gathering was deeply uncool, but now it has Final Fantasy in it, the most recent release at the time of recording. And people go, wow, actually, Final Fantasy is very cool. Maybe Magic the Gathering is very cool. And so it just feels like every year IP just gains more and more value rather than actually contributing anything. And new IPs, it feels like it's harder and harder to break through. But I also think there's like a gigantic IP fatigue, which is also insane. Like, how can you be dried out of a whole category of thing, but refuse to engage with anything that's indie? Refuse to engage with anything that's not, you know what I mean? It's so flat and disappointing. Because it's all about the studio, or the, you know, what it's connected to, or how it's been presented to you. It's still all the same 5 guys making the same 5 games, unfortunately. Which is kind of crazy. And if you have a look at all of the breakout games in the last 5 years, let's talk Marvel Snap, let's talk Hearthstone, really easy examples. Let's talk Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, which came out recently, was blowing up. All of the development teams from these things are offshoots of AAA studios. They're all people that worked at Blizzard, worked at EA, worked at Activision, and then, you know, was made redundant or quit, or, you know, went and made their own project. And then because they, you know, had access to all that kind of stuff, they had access to notoriety as, you know, being a former employee of a company. Suddenly, that product has value. That thing is like, oh, you know, we should try out. From the creator that wrote the story of whatever this thing is. Well, Blizzard doesn't appreciate that anymore, but maybe I will, or whatever. I don't know what the actual mindset is. But it just kind of feels like that. Like, I didn't get hired at Blizzard, and therefore my voice doesn't matter, or something. So it's really interesting to try and figure out what exactly the indie penetration thing is. And I brought up Northern Line before, because I think about that a lot as well. It's like a lot of games kind of owe their entire success to whether or not Northern Line likes them. If you are in the business of making a roguelike game, and Northern Lion plays it exactly one time on his channel, no one is going to buy your game. If Northern Lion plays it 7 or 8 or 9, 10 times, you know, like Blueprints plays it for a whole month, then you're going to make billions of dollars. It's, I don't know, a weird and interesting thing to really look at and think about. But now, we can actually go cash out, spend some skill points, identify, resurrect Magnus. What am I even putting points in? I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. I think I've like capped. I've capped everything. Is it Shadow Master? Do I have it equipped? No. Yeah, I can't use it in town anyway. Well, it doesn't have a duration, so I don't need to really have it on the thing, I guess. Yeah, this one. So I guess that's fine. Or it does something. Like, it doesn't time out is the thing that I'm worrying about. I think I need more mana for my energy shield to do a little better than it has been currently performing. Would you believe this is the Gleam Scythe Falchion? It gives me 57% extra gold from monsters. Unfortunately, Spirit is just better. Spirit is a thing that I want more, so I might be selling this. What's Magnus got equipped? Some similar shit. I do want to keep the Redemption and the Fanaticism on this. And then this has tons of gold. Maybe it's fine just to sell it. It's probably fine.
Good morning.
It's probably fine. Okay, so let's sell this. I think I'm keeping old runes and old gems, actually. Let me check what's in my stash. Purple. I will tidy those up later. And then we'll just go like this. Do I need... I can put these away, I suppose. Come up in a second. Open up the queue and try and fill out some stuff. That's fine, that's fine. So, what are the chances these gloves are better? Chance Frost Nova, Magic Vines, it's not extra gold. But the other stuff I think I have is always going to be better. I don't even remember what this does, but it has gold in the title, so there's a pretty good chance that it's better than Arcana. Which is kind of funny. But, okay, open this up again. Like that. Another Eyes and Hearts. This is a max gold threshold, pretty good. Plus 1 cold damage, huge. Okay. Junk. Most of this stuff just is junk, unfortunately. Okay. I can't even equip that. Let's go and dump all the gold. So how much are we at? I need like 1 million for the thing I was planning on before. Not like 2 million. So that makes me think we're not there yet. But we're about to go and fight. Fight Andariel, the actor boss. So it should be just fine. Oh Jesus. So frightening. Afflicted, Tainted, whatever the other third one's called, are among my most feared enemies. I think this is taking hits. Because he is soloing Andariel. Good stuff. Very interactive gameplay.
Death becomes you, Andariel.
It sure does. When I can't carry that. Oh, no wonder. Well, if I walk out, then they will live. Okay, good. Identify items. Go east. I'm gonna skip the cutscene. Okay. Hello, Jerry. Killed Andariel. Alright, so now we're in Act 2 of Hell. We're getting pretty close to the end.
I know much of it.
Yeah, we finally got healed. I want to sell some stuff, I think. That's not great, it's not bad either. I don't actually need anything out of my gems right now, I just need space. Is the issue.
How may I help you?
What if I just sold a bunch of the gems? Is that the vibe? Maybe. Why don't we just sell everything except flawless? And then just put the flawless ones at the top. Okay, Farah, help me out. Because then what's the point if I just spend this time combining them all? And then selling it? Like, is it really worth all that work? When I'm probably gonna get some flawless drops, like, kinda anyway. Also, I don't know that I need them that much. Oops. What I do need is gold and inventory space. I know I do have like a million stash tabs, but that's not the point. One of the mods that I did get was extra stash space, but I don't think I need to go infinite with it. Okay, so well, we hit the 2 million. Interesting. Now, from memory, and it's going back a long way, 2 million and something was the plus one to all skills. A thing that I do actually want, and a thing that I was actually saving for. So what I was putting it on one of these things. Okay.
Finally.
Yeah, finally there it goes. Oh, I need a little bit more. 700,000 more. But that's okay. It's, 2 million, 2.7 million. It's all the same. It's all the same, isn't it? Let's go and do the sewers. Every game needs sewers. Oh god. Is that the range guys? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I've been busy. I've been working on stuff. This month and last month, for my year, I commit to doing a daily upload. And then I was like, well, what if we did shorts? And what if we did shorts every day? So then I started doing shorts every day. And since March 27th until today, and for quite a few days up to today, because it's scheduled already, I have daily shorts. I'm probably going to try and keep up the streak for a little while at least. And then what? But then I've also been uploading like 9-10 videos a week. Because I started doing stuff that was not clocked out, and on the days that did not have clocked out, my channel would visibly dip in viewership. So I was like, okay, what if we just did both? Now that it changes it, then makes the difference. I just think that I have a really strong and specific clocked out audience that doesn't care about any of the other stuff that I do. Shocker. Kind of aligns with the problems I was talking about earlier. But fortunately, Cocktail is a pretty casual game to play. It's just talking to people, so that makes it not very difficult to do. I don't even have to go somewhere. Brother, what is going on down here? Why are you dead? What's that all about? Okay, I'm assuming it's just like a gigantic pack or something. What's the problem? There's a lot of loot there. Oh yeah, this Shadow Master can cast lightning trap as well. That's really funny. I was like, why is it all the way down here? I didn't do that, did I? No, I did not do that. I did not do that. My Shadow Master did. My main problem with playing this build, Trap Assassin, is that you spend your 60 skill points and then what? And then what? Some of the other, like for the Diablo, some of the mods get like really custom with it. And maybe now that there has been kind of a big gap, I should go back and look and see if there's anything cool and new. But I don't. But some of the older ones got pretty custom with some stuff, and they had some pretty cool ideas about how the game should be changed. And a lot of characters that felt flat no longer feel flat, or like don't have the I have 33 skill points I don't need problem, which is kind of interesting. Or they would just like add more options or something. Like Scrabble had a melee sorceress. So it's like enchant, a thing that sorceress has normally. It's like cool, great, you know, add fire damage to something. But on what? On who? Your follower? Okay, maybe. On your party member? Like a Zealadin? Okay, it's starting to make a bit more sense. But like, most of the time, not worth it. But then all of a sudden you have throwing staff sorceress. And you're like, okay, now that suddenly is a core part. Of the kit. So I think modding is actually like a really, really valuable kind of feedback in a way. Seeing how people interact with a long finished game, or a game that you give them permission to interact with, lets you see cool and different stuff. All of the games that you see that they do not give permission to interact with is usually they just add skins to stuff, because that's pretty easy to just have like a texture replacer. It's pretty difficult to stop people from adding a texture replacer. Whereas like you don't actually get any real value out of it. A lot of the mods for Honkai Star Rail is just like goofy shit. They released a character called Casterus who summons a big dragon, and so there's like tons of mods of turning the dragon into funky different stuff, which is kind of funny. Like the Ender Dragon, like Blue Eyes White Dragon, like that kind of stuff is really funny. And that doesn't actually do anything to comment about the game design, because they don't, you know, have that availability. But if you encounter a mod and it's like, hey, we fixed this one problem, you're like, why, one, did you think that was a problem enough to learn coding to solve? But also, why is this a thing that, you know, you have to come this far and leave it a last line of defense? Which I also think is kind of interesting. But you see custom magic cards. Custom magic cards is like a really easy gripe of mine, because there's two types. The first type is I was trying to make a meme and the card creator is a convenient meme template, and it's from a person who doesn't understand how magic cards are constructed, and you know, enough to make a custom one. And it's just nonsensical tripe, and it's a little disappointing. Your joke was not researched well enough, and therefore it was unfunny, unfortunately. But then sometimes you get to see, you know, kind of cool stuff or cool, interesting ideas, but then usually it's egregiously unbalanced. Very rarely do I see something custom and go, wow, that's something I could see them printing, which is interesting. And same for Clock Tower, right? Clock Tower is like kind of a modding is the wrong word. They call it homebrew, where you create your own characters and play them. That's the thing that I engage in as well. And what's interesting to me is to see the reception of those, you know, Clock Tower characters, custom magic cards. People go, you know, this is good, this is bad, this works, this doesn't work. And then the way people react to it is really interesting to me, because they'll be like, oh, this thing is fucking horribly unbalanced, or this is terrible, I would not enjoy, you know, sitting across from this or playing with this. And then you're like, okay, but like, why are you so distrusting of me creating something? Why, you know, are you so ready to believe that this thing is going to be bad when the official company that releases content for that game that you love has made plenty of things that are way worse, and will sit there with, you know, earnest intention to tell you that those things are good, and never acknowledge the problems that exist in them? And you're like, why is my thing, why do you not trust that my thing could be good? You know, why don't you engage with this in a critical way? Which is really interesting, because I'll make some, you know, Clock Tower characters, and it's like really not that crazy compared to some other stuff, and you're like, well, why is my thing bad when this other thing is way worse? And like custom magic cards is kind of the same, because you're like, well, it costs 1 white and it destroys all creatures. It's okay, and you have a cost imbalance, you know, and it's like really easy to look at that in a comparison to something and go, well, this is other thing that does something very similar, and its, you know, price has been determined at much greater than what you've done. Like, you've just decided that the price of the thing is cheaper. You looked at something and said, this, you know, costs too much. and you know that was your solution. Like that's how you should be evaluating stuff. Which I think is really interesting. And the stuff that was like, okay, you know, this thing accomplishes this, but you know this is the trade-off, or this is how long it should take, or oh Jesus, what is over there? It's really kicking me around. Might be dead. It's definitely a unique archer. With my whole crew. Just gonna try and clear him out before I go and hit all the revives. Well, no flawless stuff out. It's hard to pick out when there's so many stuff. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll tell you what though, one of the features I do like about Path of Exile is you can just always portal. I'm just thinking that Diablo 4 does from memory. Okay, I want to talk to Deku K.
It is an honor to serve you.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm happy you're happy. Let's get some stuff out. Wait, oh, I had some. We can get them up to. I have a lot of runes, so I never know when it's going to come up. I have. What was this? This was plus 10 belts. Not bad. It's better than Blade Buckle. These all suck. We can sell these. That's fine. Okay. Sick. We're getting close. We're getting close to a +1 all skills. Let's get our kind of back. And then let's get this guy back. Sick. Okay, so things are kind of working out. Yes, to return to my previous thought, it kind of all circles back to the company vouchers for the cards that it prints, right? Regardless of whether they're good or not. And so for you to have any argument as to whether an existing thing, like to say any Magic card is bad, it doesn't matter because Wizards of the Coast endorses it, right? And their opinion is louder than yours. Their opinion has been printed 500,000 times for people to purchase. And so it doesn't matter, like the thing exists also. When you present a concept to somebody, it is vouched by no one. Just you had an idea, right? It's not been printed, it's not been sold, it's not been enjoyed by anyone. And it's really hard to convince people that it is good, that it has value. And indie games is kind of the same way, right? You've created, through your thought palace, you've created a nonsense device for people to enjoy nonsense with, basically. And so they have to engage with that just with reckless abandon. I know for the best that it's going to be a good time. Which is high risk. Trying something new is a high risk, and we are increasingly moving into a risk-averse society. Which is crazy. Crazy that some of the things that are happening in some of the world that we live in, some of the things that you read on the news, and yet the average person is still really playing it safe. It's kind of telling as to just how much control we have over the world, but that's another podcast for another place and time, I guess. And I'm not trying to be like ruminating or like being negative or whatever. It's just, this is how things are. What does that mean we need to do to make those things work for us, basically? And some of it might just be you need to connect and find a person that does vouch for you, that does believe in the dream, you know, in some way. Skill. Sick. I needed skill points really bad, actually. I'm so grateful. And like maybe that means, you know, finding someone, going on to Tolarian Community College and being like, hey, can you come play my game? Not that he ever plays non-Magic the Gathering games, but my point is finding someone that is adjacent to the actual audience that you care about. And getting them to endorse your product, which is not easy. Right. Next is we venture out into the wastes. Sick. So I don't actually need the skill points from Radamant, but I just want the XP. I'm trying to very safely stay in front of the curve when it comes to the XP. And you saw there was a guy in there that nearly killed us. A guy here trying to kill me. I think the Scarabs are going to be a problem. I do have 95% lightning resistance, and they're doing a lot of damage to me still. Is it just because my numbers are low? Like I need more base health or something? It's possible. That's what the battle orders is supposed to be trying to do. Jesus, that's a lot of guys. So maybe that's what I need to be focusing on. I'm trying to find ways to increase my survivability beyond flat resistances. So maybe it's stacking health. Or something akin to that. Normally I would go for something like Life Leech, but I don't think... Maybe this is skill. Or I can get like heal on kill or something. Some kind of other form of... I think in a summon actually, I could get Heart of the Oak. What is that? No, what is it? Just Oak Spirit? Heart of the Oak's the mode. I can just get summon Oak Spirit and I give me more HP. Maybe that's what I thought. Creeping Vine heals you? Well, not Creeping Vine. No. Is it Creeping Vine or is it Carrion Vine? I think Carrion Vine heals you. No, I'm not a druid player. Maybe that's something investing in. Or I upgrade some of the stuff that I have. Or I get something like Defiance that increases defense. What's my chance to get hit right now? Huge. And my chance to block really low. So maybe that's something I gotta be doing. Didn't I get Holy Shield? Why am I using Holy Shield? That didn't change very much. I think it's just because my dexterity is kind of low. My shield just vanishes, which I think is kind of funny. What do I want to be doing then? Is there a skill that could help me? Is already doing pretty good damage. My Lightning Mastery plus Lightning Sentry is pretty good. I'll happily drink. Diamond. I was so right, by the way. There's no point in holding all the little gems, so I'm just going to be getting the forces. I'm just kind of stuck on them. Okay, there's another level. Let's go Shadow Master. Let's go... Is it Dexterity? Up the block chance? Surely increasing block chance is probably beneficial for me. I also think the amounts in gold for some things are like really well costed. In some other crafting systems that I've seen, you get +1 all skills a little too easily. It gets a bit too easy. Let me see actually. 134% lightning skill damage. Plus 51% fire skill damage. 134%. Because I want to know if my numbers into Lightning Mastery is adjusted by all skills or not. Because it's not in my thing. I'll say all. But I'm not sure how to check that. It might just be that I have to look at, like, Google what the Lightning Mastery breakpoints are per level and see if it's higher than it should be. but in either case, all skills will increase the lightning sentry and also the feeder skills. Give me the mana. I don't know why I'm running low on it so fast. I have 95% lightning resist. I should be taking like 0 damage from all this. Hey, wait, there's like lightning absorb and stuff. Maybe, I wonder, I should check if that is a thing I can purchase and how expensive that is. Because maybe getting elemental absorb might, you know, cut down that last 5%. Because 95 is as high as I can get it. Which makes sense, because I can't be like 110% resistant. Just gotta wait for my thing to do its thing. It only costs 20 mana, and I have nearly 600. So I'm not worried about being flat, it's just my energy shield blocks it. Yeah, my guy's having a time. He's really experiencing life. He also has 75%, so maybe I should put something on him that increases his maximum resistance. Because he has been dying a lot. This was so good. He's very large, however. He leveled up. I think. I'm sure that's what that sound is. I'm moving very slowly along. Moving very slowly along. This is, again, kind of just XP farming. I really don't want to go into Maggot Lair in a hurry. Maggot Lair is one of my least favorite places in this game. Mostly because it's just so damn hard to fire projectiles in there. I wonder if that's intentional. I think there's a big difference between this is a challenge for this type of character, between this is just going to be very annoying for this type of character. Like, increasing my frustration is not a true difficulty measure. Looking at you, Elden Ring. Looking at you, Blueprints. Just making me angry and quitting the game is not a difficulty curve. Let's go back to town. You should be looking at better ways of communicating difficulty to your player.
Tell me your troubles.
But yes, also I should get good. I understand. This is full. We're gonna put this in here. Let's. Wow, spears, huh? Oh yeah, they sell for a bit more if you actually identify them. Oops. Not when I talked to Decade Kane first, and I forgot. Did we make it to 2.7? No, but we're kind of close. So maybe in the next episode we will get there. But that is going to be it. This is my long rant. This is my Diablo 2 hardcore modded run. We've seen pretty good progress, actually. Killing Endariel is not bad. She didn't get anywhere near me, so I wasn't really that worried. Some of the archers did big damage to me, and the beetles did a lot of damage to me. So I need to figure out how I'm going to get through. Because I think I should be fine fighting stuff like Bale and all of that. But it means I have to get there. I have to like actually grind through all the stuff and make it there. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, look, this has Magic Absorb. So maybe I need to find some more stuff that has Magic Absorb. We'll pick up some new skills or something. Maybe like percent maximum health would be great. But once we get it all together, once we make it happen, then maybe like maybe I gotta like pump battle orders like a bunch or something, and then see how we go. See if I become a little bit more harder to kill. But anyway, that is it for this episode. I'm going to put the playlist up on the screen, so if the next episode is out, you can go and check it out right away. Chances are it's been recorded a month or more from now, and then you can hear about how things have changed in that time. and hear a little bit more about my Dear Diary with how things have been going for YouTube. And as always, I just kind of put up a random video for other stuff that I'm working on. Maybe it's from the From Computer to Cardboard series. Who knows what is actually popping off for me 3 months away from what has been recorded. But that's it. So stick around, check out what else is going on the channel. I've been working really hard on the YouTube, so I appreciate all the subscribers. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 1,000. We're sitting on 800 right now. We're getting close, and every little click of that button helps a lot. So maybe I'll have some cool content that you'll be excited to see soon, and it will have been worth it.